is up, my friends? How are we? You are very welcome along to today's late night agenda. As always, I hope you're all having a fantastic evening so far. First question I see in the chat straight away is, Craig, have you heard back from the club? No, I haven't, in short. We've had I sent them a follow-up email, but no, we've had no response from the football club. And I'm not sure if we're going to get one, to be honest with you. But, as I said at the time, all we can do is try. So, my friends, we have a lot to go through tonight. Before you jump down my throat about the whole Trent stuff, I'm going to point you to an article from Anfield Index that titles itself, Trent Alexander-Arnold will sign for Real Madrid. Opinion, Trent sees his future with the Spanish Giants. So, don't shoot the messenger. Because I'm not saying I agree with it, but of course we're going to have a chat about it. We're going to talk about Mohamed Salah, Levi Colwill, Andre, Luis Diaz, and all the usual stuff that we go through over the course of the 90 minutes or 2 hours that we're live. Ireland at the minute being beaten 1-0 last I checked by Portugal, but the other part of the island, Northern Ireland, well, they've scored 2 and Conor Bradley scored them both so far, so good performance for young Conor Bradley. Great to see him getting on the score sheet as well. Let him off, said Ronald Martin. That's a very Irish phrase. Let him off. That's a pretty Irish phrase. So look, I hope you're all well. As I said today I'll start the show with the old intro video rather than trying to push the tickets again, which I will do later on in the stream, but I'm sure you've all had enough of me banging on about them at the start of streams. So, how are we? We good? Let me just say a couple of hellos while we're in as well. Fritz Frank, always lovely to see you in. Alex, Colin, everybody, Adam, lovely to see you as well, my man. I hope that you're all having a good day. So, are you a little bit impatient yet? Because the transfer window opens in just 3 short days, meaning Liverpool and any Premier League club or any club in Europe can officially start signing players. But my first question is, never mind the goddamn players, where's the gaffer? Where's the gaffer? We haven't heard from him yet, and I'm anxiously waiting. So, yeah, we're going to talk about Ronald Araujo tonight as well. Yes, you did hear me correctly. Barcelona's Ronald Araujo. We're going to talk about him and ask, is he really on the market? As per some reports in Spain. David Massett, how are you, bud? Said, no player is bigger than Liverpool, Craig. I agree. I know sometimes people might believe differently, David, and I get myself in a little bit of hot water occasionally, bro, by saying exactly what you've said there. But some people do believe there are people that are bigger than the club, even if it's subconscious. You know, if you say something negative, they'd be like, this player or that player is everything. And I'm like, maybe it's age, I don't know. But I've been around long enough to see people come and go. And I appreciate the greats while they're here. And I appreciate the service that people give the club. But ultimately, my first preference is always to look after the club and make sure that the club are okay in the longer term. And if that means calling out a player, the owners, the coaches, I think it's my job to do it. Shouldn't sign anyone until after the Euros. Seen before players signing for new clubs and getting injured on international duty. Well, I mean, to be fair, Ash, there's a lot of people who aren't playing in international tournaments. Now, there are some international qualifiers going on at the minute. For instance, Salah playing with Egypt, they're already in World Cup qualifiers. You've got the Copa America, of course, coming up as well in South America, and the Euros. But there are a load of players who aren't. Like, let's say, players who haven't qualified, like Irish players as an example, or any other country that hasn't qualified. So there is going to be players we can sign who aren't at international tournaments. So I wouldn't agree with you on that one, my friend. We can't let Trent leave our Scouser vice captain. I would love Rodrigo, but I wouldn't let Trent go. So tonight we're not even going to be talking about that swap. This is kind of a different vibe we're going with, based off that article that I spoke about. So when people say we can't let Trent do something, or we can't let Mo leave, or we can't let Verge leave, or they always make it sound like it's our choice as a fan base or as a club. And sometimes, of course, football clubs make these decisions to cash in, or a player's not cutting the mustard. But sometimes it's also down to the players. And we don't know what goes on in a player's mind behind closed doors, what their own goals and dreams were when they were coming through. And we all want to believe that Trent Alexander-Arnold will be a lifelong Liverpool player, because he's a cop-eye. He grew up supporting the team. He's realised his dream. But maybe his ambition doesn't stop there. I don't know, which is what makes it worrying when you see the situation we're in. I mean, we're going to talk about a piece tonight that said that Virgil van Dijk may not even start contract negotiations with Liverpool till the end of this calendar year. And I sat back and I thought about that earlier on today for a while, and I can understand it, but it still makes me nervous. Like, I can understand it from the perspective of, I can see a point where Virgil's so calm about it that he's like, look, I'm not going anywhere. Get the important stuff out of the way, the Salahs or the Trent or the contract stuff, and then we can talk later in the year because I'm Liverpool captain and I'm happy to stay here. That's one side of it, but there's the other side of it that goes, well, what if he says that and we're in December and the January market's only around the window? You know, what happens then? You know, if he's not playing well, do Liverpool get this mad idea to cash in, or does Virg think maybe I need to change the scenery? So, yeah, there's a lot of leaps of faith in these transfer windows, but we're going to try and cover it all, as we always do, and talk it through. I think it's Trent's agent is playing mind games, said Darwizzy. I don't know, bro. I honestly haven't got a clue, but all I can keep coming back to is the same thing that I've said consistently. Whatever you think, whether it's Trent wanting to move, whether it's the media stirring it, whether it's an agent throwing it into the pot, I think and hope that what we can all agree on is this shouldn't even be a conversation. And that's the hurtful part to me. It's that I can't believe the club have let this happen. And I'm so sorry I keep banging on about it, but I'm sick to death of it. Like, all of these headaches are completely avoidable. We don't need to be sitting here now wondering if Trent has a great Euros. Is that going to increase the likelihood of Real Madrid coming in with an incredible offer? We should be able to just sit back and enjoy Trent playing in the Euros and know that he's a Liverpool player, Liverpool potential captain in the future. But we're at a point now where the club have shit the bed. And I'm sorry, I'm going to say the club have absolutely messed up on this, in my opinion. Stargirl, how are you, my friend? And thank you very much for your super chat. So, talking about Trent, people seem to forget he is a two-footed player, can play both left and right back. I hope Trent stays in Liverpool. I mean, yes, he can use 2 feet, but his future, wherever he plays, looks like it's going to be in the centre of the park anyway, whether that is with England, Liverpool, or elsewhere. I'm intrigued to see how he gets on in the Euros if Gareth Southgate does use him as part of a midfield with Declan Rice. It'll be interesting to see how he gets on. Colin Brooks said, this Trent new contract should have been put to bed last season. Yes, exactly. Like, again, to go back to what we spoke about yesterday, the last 12 senior players that have left Liverpool Football Club, only 4 of them have commanded a transfer fee for Liverpool. Now, I'm not talking about players who've just come in, done nothing and left. I'm talking about players who've helped Liverpool be successful and win stuff. We're always told that Liverpool signed somebody that's a relatively young age that can improve and potentially have a bigger sell-on fee down the line. But we haven't lived that out. We've seen players leave for free. And 8 of 12 having gone for no transfer fee. That's not good business, in my opinion. And again, I'm not an accountant, but it doesn't seem like good business when there's the possibility of getting transfer fees for these guys. For instance, making this calculation about what it might be worth to lose Salah for free versus trying to cash in on him now. That's a difficult balancing act, but for me, the correct decision for the football club is sell, 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 sell. And that's been backed up by former pro after former pro at the minute. Paul Robinson talking about it. Other former players talking about it. Liverpool have to make a big call this summer. And it's going to be an unpleasant one. Because I know people are holding out for the new contract, but I have to say I'd be astonished if he signs a new contract. Pleasantly. But also I'd still be anxious because I still stand over my comments that he's done at his best. Those days are behind him. I'm seeing less and less of the Mohamed Salah. But again, look, I know I'm banging on about it, but I just feel like somebody shit the bed with regards to the contracts. And that's before we even get into signing players. And also, how am I as a Liverpool fan supposed to understand that we're a club that has to live within its means, right? And you see, we spoke about it yesterday. The average net spend for Jurgen Klopp's 9 years at the club was 40 million quid after sales. So if we're a club that has to live within its means and has to generate money, be able to spend money, the fact that we've let 8 players walk out the door for free makes me even more annoyed, because that's 8 opportunities that Liverpool could have brought some more money into the club, which would have helped the managers, which would have helped the cash flow. And sometimes there's a contradiction. You know, they're geniuses, they're great money men, but 8 players left for free. That's not great business to me. Allowing Bobby Firmino leave for free, Sadio Mane for 30 million, Joel Matip free, Thiago Alcantara free, maybe Mohamed Salah free, maybe Trent, maybe Virgil. Not genius decisions, in my opinion. Trent goes to Madrid. There will not be any anger towards Trent. It will be towards Liverpool. Also, who the hell are Liverpool targeting this summer transfer window? So, I think I mentioned this on the news video earlier on today, Stevie boy. Journalists seem to be really great at the minute about telling us that Liverpool have a list of people. Let's use Ederson as an example. So David Lynch was speaking, I think, with Anfield Index. And he said, yes, Liverpool have looked at Ederson. Yes, they've scouted him. But he doesn't believe that he's a genuine bona fide target. And that's fair enough. I can live with a journalist having that opinion. But if you know the lists, and if you know who isn't a target, then tell us who the fuck is a target, or shut up. That's what baffles me about it. All these journalists out there at the minute, doing their work around transfers, are able to tell us who we're not interested in, or who the club are briefing them that isn't a serious target, but not one of them has put their neck on the line and told us who we are after. So if they claim to be so in with the club or having their sources and contacts, what about the positive stuff? Why is it always that we seem to be just getting bad news? Oh, remember this player that we were all excited about and we were linked to it? Oh yeah, well the club don't want him. So, you know, ta-da! That pisses me off. Because, you know, we're crediting these people with sources and information, but nobody seems to want to tell us who the fuck we are after. I'm mad with Real Madrid, not Liverpool. I'm mad with Liverpool, 100%. Because let's put ourselves in Real Madrid's shoes, right? Let's say Vinicius Jr. had 1 year to go on his Real Madrid contract. And Vinicius Jr. was away on international duty with Alisson. And Alisson was in his ear and, you know, life's great at Liverpool, Vinny. You know, you'd love it over here. We wouldn't be angry at Liverpool for trying to get a good deal and poach a player in the last year of his contract. You'd look at Real Madrid and go, idiots, how did you let that happen? We would, let's be honest. So in this scenario, we have to look at ourselves like the idiots. Don't want to hear it, but I think it's the harsh truth. All these stories, same with Mo, all the stuff about Willy Wonky and all, it's gone on too long. Too many years of it. I want certainty. Get it done or don't, but there's no excuse for not getting these extensions done yet. None. Regista said they haven't got a clue. Sort the contracts out 2 years before they expire or sell the player. Exactly. And look, I've more understanding of the club doing it when a player's 32, 33. Absolutely, I can understand where a club might look at Verge or Mo or Matip or somebody in their 30s and go, we need to be careful not to overcommit here because we've been burned before. But with Trent, 25, going into a tournament where his stock could absolutely rise. Like, if England win the Euros and Trent and Bellingham and Rice have a great tournament, it's not going to decrease the attention on Trent. It's not going to make him less desirable to those clubs who are hovering around knowing that in a mere 6 months he can sign a pre-contract agreement and leave. It's just, I don't get it. If anything, the club are just weakening in their own position. Because Trent goes and has a good Euro, his agent's going to go, see how good he is now? So remember when he was good last year? Now he's even better. Now he's more established on the world stage. Now he's even more in demand. And you have less clout. You have less chance to sign him up. So I'm going to slide a piece of paper across and you're going to write a very big number on it. Other words, bye-bye. And that's exactly what an agent's going to do. Because that's the agent's job. Real can't make a deal after signing Mbappe unless they sell massively. Really? I've not seen that reported anywhere, Stephen. Not having to go with you, my friend. You're in the chat every day. I'm just saying I've not seen that. I've seen Real Madrid being linked with Florian Wirtz for €150 million next summer. I've seen them linked with Alphonso Davies. I've seen them linked with Trent. I've not seen anything to say that they can't sign anyone. I've seen it with Barcelona. And yes, I am aware that La Liga have their own internal FFP system where they have to input all this information to the computer, and that centralized computer gives them their budgets or how much wiggle room they have. But honestly, bro, I've not seen anything to say Madrid can't do it. In fact, all I've seen is praise for them. To say, look at this. They've refreshed their squad. Paul Clement the other day on Sky Sports speaking at Sir Bobby Robson golf event that was on over in the Algarve said Real Madrid have now just sorted themselves out for the next 6 years and still won the European Cup. Isn't that mental? Like they're in a rebuild mode and they've just won the European Cup. And they still think of themselves as rebuilding. They've won the league and the European Cup. And they've still brought in Kylian Mbappe. That's what you're up against. Can I do the career mode videos again? Nah, I don't like gaming, bro, and I don't have the time. I've so many projects that I want to get through over the next year that games aren't going to be one of them. I've top of the league to sort out, the new podcast to sort out. So unfortunately, bro, I won't be able to. Right, let's get starting with the news, though, because I feel like this has been a longer than normal intro, but there is a lot to get through. So, let's start off with a bit of a mad one. Do you remember when we beat Slavia Prague, or was it Sparta Prague? I can never remember which one, so I apologise to all my Czech friends. But the gaffer who we beat 11-2 on aggregate has now just been appointed to replace Arne Slot at Feyenoord, which is a bit of a mad one. It's mad how these things happen, coincidences, isn't it? So yeah, the coach of Prague has now taken over at Feyenoord and will be Arne Slot's replacement. Please tell your badass wife all the hard work she's doing is amazing. Thank you, Liz. I need to give context to Liz's super chat. So I posted into the moderators group the other day to say how proud I was of Sabrina. She posted a gym photo and she's looking incredible. I have to say, she was always thin, but now she's looking incredible. And that's what Liz is on about. So thank you, Liz. She's a determined little lady. She wants to get into the fire brigade, so she's working hard. She's at the gym right now as we speak, Liz. So yeah, thank you for that. I'll pass it along, and I hope, of course, all is good with you, the family, and of course your own recovery, Liz. So thank you for your kind words. Lots of love from us, as always, over to sunny Florida. Right, let's get crack-a-lacking. Loads to get through. Did I just say crack-a-lacking? Yeah, I apologise on behalf of me, because that was too cringy. Right, an interesting thing that I wanted to just bring to the table, because you know the way we're talking about Darwin, and we're talking about Darwin's mindset. Is he going to be able to come in and focus and bang in 30 goals? Well, I just wanted to draw your attention to something about Ollie Watkins. So England striker Ollie Watkins has revealed that his great form at Aston Villa came after employing a therapist who he speaks to before and after every game, having struggled with belief earlier on in his career. I love seeing stories like this because look at the transformation. We give a lot of credit to Ollie Watkins, we give a lot of credit to Unai Emery, but also he's gone out and looked to improve himself and credited some of the fantastic season he's had to that therapist. So again, not only I think is that a good thing, but it's showing that there are results can be had, and even the superstars, need a little bit of help occasionally. This one baffles me, and it's an article that said, or a post that says, Liverpool have put contract talks with Virgil van Dijk on hold until the end of 2024. I kind of alluded to this at the start of the stream, but it's a bit confusing because it says Liverpool have put contract talks with Virgil on hold, not that Virgil has put them on hold. Or what do we think about that? One, do we believe it? And two, what would be the reason for it? I'm sure Liverpool aren't looking at Virgil and thinking that he's fallen off because he's after coming back from having a better season than the season prior, where he admitted he didn't trust his own body as much and he was working his way back. Now, statistically, if you look at last season, his numbers were great. So, I'm a bit confused as to, one, if that story's true, and if it is true, why? Eddie Hutchinson said that's exactly what Darwin is doing. Good, and I hope it pays dividends. Eddie, you can see it's working with Uruguay anyway. It seems that when he's away with Uruguay, and he says this himself as well, he feels far more relaxed, far more comfortable, far more loved. Is that the right word? And maybe it is a cultural thing. Maybe Darwin is going to be a player who likes that Latin flair. Maybe he is someone that will do better in Portugal or Spain. I don't know, but I know I'm not ready to give up on him yet, and I hope, Eddie, like you've said, he does continue to work hard and believe in himself, because I don't know, I've got the feeling we're going to see an incredible season from Darwin this year, and I could be deluded, but I'm going to die on that hill. I really do feel like we're going to get an incredible season out of him. Lots of people saying as well that they don't believe the story. Good, because it'd be a weird one, right? And it kind of contradicts everything else that we've heard about Liverpool being interested. So here's what I spoke to at the start of the stream from David Lynch. He said, I've no doubt that Ederson is somebody that Liverpool have been watching. So he's confident enough to say Liverpool are looking at him, right? Which I think fair enough. But then he goes on to say, but it seems to be one that is getting shot down at the moment, but doesn't seem to be much momentum behind it. They're still cool that he isn't even on the shortlist at the moment. So who is? As I said at the start of the stream, all these journalists at the minute are great at telling us who we're not interested in. But that's not what we want to know. We want to know who we are interested in. So does anybody have a clue? Or can we all just admit that they're all spoofing it? Because it's either the club sources are telling them what they want them to hear and nothing about players coming in, or they're all just very good boys and girls who don't like to speak out of turn and are keeping the big secrets for Liverpool. I'd love that to be the case. I'd love them all to know and not tell us, but then again, that's kind of their job as well. Mark, how are you, bro? Said, Craig, with regards to VVD, I think it's because deep down Edwards wants to get rid of him because of his age. So, even if we say, okay, to that, you got to find a replacement, right? And the replacement is where I find it hard to believe Liverpool are going to pony up big dough. So, I'm going to bring you to a story about Ronald ARAUJO now, and then we'll talk about Levi Colwill. But right now, there's an article doing the rounds in Spain that said, because of Barcelona's severe financial headaches, Ronald ARAUJO could be one of the victims of Barcelona's summer transfer plans. And the piece goes on to say that about €80 million might be enough to get Ronald ARAUJO out of Barcelona. So to go back to your original post, if Michael Edwards believes that Virgil maybe is coming to the end of his time, okay. But then we need to see the future leader of the defence emerge very goddamn quickly in this transfer window. And I would be very, very surprised if Liverpool go out there and spend Virgil van Dijk money again on another Virgil van Dijk type replacement. Because we need the context of the original one, which was the Coutinho money. So, again, yeah, I'm open to that belief that maybe has looked at him and thought, but he also has to pony up the dough. And I don't know. Like, we should be absolutely, if they're willing to take €80 million for ARAUJO, we should be at least looking at that and trying to strike a deal. You know? For instance, as an example, if they want Diaz bad enough, you could absolutely do something with ARAUJO. We've seen Aston Villa and Juventus just kind of come to what I think is a bit of a mental deal, in all honesty. So I know Aston Villa have FFP concerns, but they've got 20 million quid, Weston McKennie and another player for Douglas Luiz. So basically what they've done is only freed up 20 million quid and put 2 more wages on the books. So is that 20 million quid really worth the sacrifice of losing Douglas Luiz, one of the most consistent performers? I find that very odd as well. It's great for Juventus because they're getting a very good player and probably moving players off the books who they're a bit nonplussed about, and only having to put 20 million quid on the table. Is it worth the sacrifice for Villa just to comply with FFP or profit and sustainability rules? No. You can't tell me there isn't another player they could have sold for 20 million quid, a youngster or a promising player, or I don't know, somebody that's a bit surplus to requirements maybe, and got that 20 million quid. I'm baffled by that deal. Craig, we have a chance to get ARAUJO, then we 100% should take it. He would be amazing for us. So I'm not somebody who's I'm still on the fence about ARAUJO. I've had this conversation with many people over the last few months about his talent. But I do think 80 million euro, 67 million pounds realistic. Like, I think that's okay. But there's other names that we have to talk about as well. What the hell is that? Oh my God, you're an asshole, Ben. Ben's got the let's get crack-a-lackin' emoji for the members. Thank you, Ben. Appreciate that, bro. Good to see you're putting your skills to use. Do you think the Premier League should adopt a system where clubs submit spending and income every season and the Premier League tell them what to transfer windows? Yes and no. So salary caps are a very difficult thing. And often we get told, look at American sports. But here's the big thing about American sports for me and spending caps. They work for one reason. Where else you going to go? Do you get me? You're an NFL player or an NFL club. Spending caps are there. It's not like you can run off and join another American football league. You know, this is it. Deal with it. It's not like that in football. You know, if Premier League have a rule, then players and the money will piss off elsewhere and go to Spain or Italy or Germany or France or wherever. That's one of the big differences that I think people forget to mention when they talk about salary caps and stuff. You know, there are many more options in football, so it's a harder thing to enforce. Oh God, this crack-a-lackin' stuff. I can't believe I said it, but I deserve everything I get because of it. So I'm going to take it on the chin. That's what you said. Right, more news. So Liverpool have advertised a new job. Does anybody want a new job? Let me tell you, if this is you, then fair play to you, because this is a role that I've never heard of before. Liverpool Football Club are advertising for another key role. So it's a key role now in Arne Slot's backroom team. On Saturday evening, the club's Director of Research, Will Spearman, revealed that Liverpool are looking to hire a performance insights lead within their research department. Described as a varied role, the performance insights lead will provide the relevant data in a centralised and accessible way to the medical, fitness and sports science teams throughout the club with which they will collaborate closely. This will include surfacing and analysing match data, training and testing data. It will also involve work with the research department, software engineers, and you'll also have to have a PhD student shadowing you for the time you're there as well. So hands up, who's qualified? In the chat now, who's ready to go and become a, what are we calling this role again? Performance Insights Lead. Have we got any Performance Insights Lead qualified people in the chat who want to put their CV and name forward? Because it's out of my pay grade. At work, love you. We love that. Sati. Straight in, only got a second, said, at work, love you, Craig. You'll never walk alone. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. So, we did get confirmation that the transfer window is going to shut on August the 30th at 11 p.m. Now, why is this important? Well, it marks a little bit of a change from recent years. Basically, it means that now the Premier League, England is the Premier League, Germany, Spain, Italy and France, all of those leagues, the transfer windows are going to close at the same time. Meaning, we don't have to worry about some of our players being poached last minute by clubs whose windows are still open. So this is good for me. And just to confirm again, that the window will shut on August the 30th at 11 p.m. UK time. I don't even understand the job title. Same with me, Finty Tin. So it's fair to say I won't be applying because that doesn't sound like me. Right, what is this one? Actually, I'm going to go back to the chat for a little bit. Oh my God, we've been on how long now? Half an hour and we haven't had a poll? Christ. Ben, let's have a poll that says, do you think there's any chance Trent could leave? Just leave it at that. Because I'm getting scared. The more I see pictures of him in Bellingham, the more I'm getting worried. I hope. And do you know what worries me even more? Wouldn't it be lovely just to hear a little one-liner from Trent to go, nah, I'm not going anywhere. We'll sort out my contract when I get back from the Euros, but I'm not going anywhere. That would be amazing. Now, it probably would weaken his negotiating standpoint and his agent to be jumping at him, but it certainly calmed my nerves anyway. Liz thinks your daughter might qualify for the job. There you go. Well, get your daughter to lash the CV in, Liz. And if she does get the job, don't forget about your friends here at Anfield Agenda for the freebies. Players like to leave options open. Yeah, I can see that. Which even makes it more baffling that the club are here, like in this position. Where did the Trent rumours come from? Well, initially Spain, I think it was El Nacional, who have, a timeshare on that special little island of ours off the east coast of the Mediterranean, bullshit island. They said that there was a potential swap deal in there with him and Rodrigo. Now, Rodrigo just keeps saying the same thing. I don't want to leave Madrid. I love Madrid. Why would I want to leave Madrid? So he doesn't look like he wants to leave. But what really just caught me today was that Anfield Index piece. Now, it is an opinion piece, and I have all the time in the world for Anfield Index because, as I've told you before, I started my content creation journey there. And they're a lovely group of people, and I've nothing but good things to say about them. But this piece caught me kind of off guard. When you post a piece with the headline being, Trent Alexander-Arnold will sign for Real Madrid, with 2 big red exclamation points, and then say, opinion, and then quote it, Trent sees his future with the Spanish Giants. I know it's an opinion piece, but it's still a big thing to put out there. Like, if I came out there and said that to you right now, I came on here and I said, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's late night agenda. Great to have you with us. And by the way, Trent Alexander-Arnold will sign for Real Madrid. Trent sees his future with the Spanish Giants. How do you think that will do? How long do you think before my comments are filled full of people telling me they hate me, I'm an idiot, stop spreading lies, stop spreading shit? Even if I say it's an opinion. I found it very confusing to see that article and that headline, because when you read the piece, there's actually no real anything in it. It kind of just said, I think Trent wants to go to Real Madrid, but I think Trent will stay for 2 more years and then go to Real Madrid. I found it weird. It's almost like we're self-deprecating on our own club again. And as I said, nothing but good things to say about Anfield Index, but this one just blew my mind. I think Bellingham has turned his head, said David Massett. Thank you, David. The poll is up that we said, do you think there's any chance Trent will leave Liverpool this summer? Do you know what? This is closer than I thought. And I don't know where I am. So if I answer the question the way it's written and as a matter of fact, do I think there's any chance? Yes. Do I think it's likely? No. But I can't sit here and say with 1 year to go on his deal and Real Madrid hovering around and him being away from the club with England with Jude Bellingham, I can't sit here and say that there's 0 chance that is going to happen. But I think it's unrealistic. So, yeah, look a little bit on Andre Trinidad, because you guys have been asking me, anything on Andre. Well, welcome to 2023, because Fluminense midfielder Andre Trinidad could be on his way to the Premier League, just not for Liverpool. We're going back a year here because basically Bayern Munich are signing João Palhinha, and it looks like that Fulham are going to want to go into the market and sign Andre Trinidad as the replacement for João Palhinha. I feel like we've been here before. So that's the latest on Andre Trinidad, is that they believe that Fulham are about to go back in and bring a player to the Premier League that was almost on his way to the Premier League last time, but Bayern Munich couldn't get the deal for João Palhinha done. So yeah, a bit of deja vu there. I actually had to check the date on the article when I initially read it, because I thought, I thought we'd sorted this. LFC Love says, agreed, Craig, plus I have a bad feeling about it. So I love when people come on and say to me, Craig, Virgil's going nowhere. Craig, Salah's going nowhere. Trent's going nowhere. I love the optimism, and I love the belief in the player and in the club that everything will be tickety-boo. But I thought about how I class myself as a Liverpool fan. And the question that I asked myself was, do I think I'm an optimistic or pessimistic Liverpool fan? And it's a more difficult question to ask yourself than you think. And I kind of came up with the belief that I believe I'm an optimistic Liverpool fan, but I'm cynical. I'm cynical about some of the stuff that we're emotionally attached to. I'm thinking that a player is the same way. So I believe, and I'm always optimistic, that Liverpool can go into a season to win everything. If you don't start the year thinking your team's going to win the league, even if you're, I don't know, a Fulham fan or a West Ham fan, that's the whole point of being a fan, right? We dream. We start every year thinking we're going to win everything. And then you work backwards from there and torture yourself for the year. So yeah, I think I'm optimistic, but I'm cynical. I don't believe some of the fluff that I see in the media. Ronald said, totally agree, Craig. The player saying he's not leaving, whereas Trent staying quiet makes you think there's something in it. So let's contrast that, right? The Trent situation with Lucho, who has been really strongly linked with moves away. Barcelona, PSG, Papa Lucho talking in the past. Well, he was speaking after a 5-1 victory over the USA with Colombia, and he said, I'm very happy there in Liverpool. It's a great team and a great club. I always wanted to play there, so I'm very happy and calm. I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm thinking about the Colombian national team, which is where we are. You can't tell me that's not good to hear. You know? Whether you believe it or not, at least he's saying it. So, I'd like a little bit of that. We've also seen the same from Virgil, by the way. So we talked today about how Virgil might not be negotiating a deal yet, or how Liverpool could put it off till the end of the year. But we've seen Virgil say on numerous occasions he loves the club, he wants to work under the new manager, and he's looking forward to the future. What got me worried, and I don't know if I'm on my own here, and I'm clutching at straws, but you know what got me worried was seeing how emotional Trent was when Jurgen was leaving. Because we look at Trent, and normally he's cool, calm, composed, measured, never too far in one direction, never too far in the other. He's a kind of cool dude. Strolls around the pitch, does his work. Even when he scores a goal, celebrations, giving it the shush. You know, he's not an emotional fella outwardly. But we've seen him really be affected when Jurgen was departing. And that's what has me most concerned. You add that in the contract situation and I'm starting to get nervous. Because he was a big impact. Jurgen was a big role. I don't want to ever say father figure because I feel that's disrespectful to people's families. But he was certainly a big role model and a big believer in Trent. So I don't know what impact him moving maybe has. Maybe Trent feels a little bit mixed on his emotions. I don't know. Ali Noose said, Diaz doesn't want to leave at all. I really hope we get ARAUJO. He'll bring a huge hit for the team and is a good friend with Darwin. Now let me just throw this mad hypothetical out to you. Would you swap ARAUJO for Lucho? Just out of curiosity. I'm not even going to put this to a poll. I'm just asking out of curiosity. They're valued round about the same money. A couple of million in it. But if Barca wanted him badly enough, would you swap Lucho? So I would. But not because I don't rate Lucho. Because I feel like we can cover the left side position fairly straightforwardly. I feel like with Cody Gakpo at the club, with Darwin's ability to play off the left, with Jota's ability to do it, Jones could maybe do it. You could go and bring in somebody else if needs be. I think I would do it. I would do it because we really need a centre-back of the highest calibre. So yeah, I think I would belatedly accept that if it was on the table. Now, I'm not saying there isn't a few quid either way here. You know, maybe Liverpool want an extra 5 million or something like that. But I would see it as more of strengthening the group rather than weakening the group. You know, I'd find that a slight strengthening because we're less stacked in the centre-back position. What would I do if I was Trent? It's a really good question. I'm going to answer it honestly. So if I'm Trent Alexander-Arnold and I've grown up around Anfield and I've achieved my dream and I've won the European Cup and I've won the Premier League and I've played for my country, vice captain of the club, I ask myself an honest question. Am I comfortable here? Am I too comfortable here? Do I need to challenge myself again? And I honestly feel like I don't know what my answer would be. I can see a world where he signs a 2-year extension and maybe thinks about leaving in a year. But I can also see a world where he stays at the club for the rest of his playing career. But I think what separates a Trent or a Virgil or a Mo from us, mere mortals, is that drive and ambition and that character and that winning mentality that allows them to get to this point of their careers, that separates them from all the other good players who are coming up through these systems. So if you believe that players have that drive, determination to be better, to finish their careers and want to look at the mantelpiece and see the trophies, the difference between Trent and Steven Gerrard, I feel, is Steven Gerrard could speak about winning things with Liverpool and it meaning more than winning stuff with Chelsea. But he didn't win the Premier League. So he never completed what he would have wanted to at Liverpool. And there was always that desire. If you want to play devil's advocate, Trent's won everything. He's completed everything at Liverpool. Now, at 25, 26, can any of us say that the biggest club in the world come and calling for you at a time where they've got Mbappe, Bellingham, Vinny? I mean, it has to be flattering, if nothing else, hearing those rumours about you. If Trent goes, we'll all be in tears, said Jay. I think it will be one of the biggest shocks of... Do you know what I'm going to say? It'll be the biggest shock to me since Steven Gerrard nearly left. If I woke up tomorrow and heard that there was finally came out and Trent said something like, I'm assessing my future. Just that would be enough for me to go, oh, shit. So yeah, I get that people are all like, he's not going anywhere. I love it. I love you that optimistic, but football is ruthless and these guys have one career. So let me ask you the question. You asked me that question. It's a great question. But what would you do if you were Trent Alexander-Arnold right now? What would you do? Now be honest with me. Don't just say, oh, I'm a Liverpool fan, I'll stay for it. Think about it. What would you do if you were in Trent's position now, where you're really well established on the international scene and you're 25 years of age? What would you do? I hope the answer is stay, because we all would like to think the answer is stay, but I don't know. You know, do you look back at your career and tell your kids and grandkids, you know, I stayed at Liverpool and I won a Premier League title, a European Cup, a couple more domestic cups and maybe you add one or two more trophies? Or do you go, I went to Real Madrid and I won 4 more Champions Leagues. I got nominated for a Ballon d'Or. I played with Kylian Mbappe. I don't know. I would leave to Madrid as well, Craig. Go to Madrid. I'd leave, said Coach Bill. And we're all Liverpool fans, right? We're all Liverpool fans. And I love you for being that honest. And there are people who'd say they'd stay, by the way. So I'm not just ignoring them. But thank you. Thank you for being that honest. Because, you know, we all have ambitions in life. Like, if this was a move to Arsenal or feckin' Barca even, I'd go, nah, not happening. But we are talking about a club that's probably going to dominate European football again for the next 10 years. You know, probably, like, let's be honest, we'll all be amazed if Real Madrid don't win 4 more European Cups in the next 7 or 8 years. So the attractiveness of that is going to make you think. Is he simply scaring the shit out of the board? Pull your finger out and sort his contract. Have they been proactive enough with regard to contracts? Said Phil Spicer. Now, that leads me back to the Gerrard conversation again, bro, because that's kind of why Gerrard was allowing himself to be flirted with by Chelsea, because he didn't feel that he was a priority. And he didn't feel that the club were outwardly looking to keep him. So do you know what would be great for me? To hear Liverpool come out and go, you know, you go nowhere. Our future, Trent's future should be at the club and we hope to make that happen. But again, all this silence is doing is causing more uncertainty. And I still can't believe I'm in this situation where I'm looking at Trent with a year to go. It's mad. It's stupid. Actually, do you know, it's not mad, it's stupid. How much would you pay him? It's a good question. Yeah, it's a good question. I would say to keep Trent now, I think you've got to look at 250 minimum, probably. You know, we are talking about somebody here who will know his worth because he's homegrown, and he's already done everything, and he's only 25. So 250 would be a wage that I would expect him to at least look. And he can look at comparables. You know, he can point towards other players who have not achieved as much as him. Saka at Arsenal, 300 grand a week. Hasn't won a damn thing compared to Trent. Younger, but, you know, if you're the talisman, if you're the big boy at the club, the icon, well then, pony up the dough and pay me accordingly. If Alonso goes too, that could be a factor. Harry, I'll be honest, bro, I never even thought of that till this second. Like, if he gets the whisper from Madrid to go, yeah, Alonso's coming next year, and we see you in midfield, imagine him thinking to himself, oh shit, so I could go to Real Madrid, I could play with Bellingham, and I could learn from one of the best midfielders of his generation. The more I think about this, the more scared I'm becoming. So I need to stop talking about it, I think. Go for a new challenge. He doesn't have anything to prove in England, and once again, no player is bigger than the club. Granted, I can get your point, Dave, but I still doesn't excuse the fact that if the worst does happen and Trent goes, we're not going to maximise the value because of this situation. If Trent had 2 years to go, this is a different conversation. Because you're talking, so Madrid, you want them, well, it's going to cost you £150 million. You know? I've said this to you all last season. Every week that goes by, the club's stance is weakened. And the players' stance, whether it's Virgil, Mo or Trent, the leverage is on their side. Trent is 100% profit to FSG, said Nathan Naylor. And by the way, please do hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Appreciate you guys being in with us. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button, please do. I think we've lost about 20 subscribers on this stream so far, and I don't understand why. It's not my fault if if people get scared about the idea of Trent leaving and start unsubscribing, I'm still going to be me and give you my honest opinion. But it's weird, yeah. It's mad to look up and see that we've lost like 20 subscribers since the stream started. I don't know why. But I'm going to continue to be me anyway, and I hope that you understand where I'm coming from. Is this actually starting to become real? Said Ryan. Is there a chance? Surely not. Well, of course there's a chance. I mean, there's also every chance he signs on and stays, Ryan, but, you know, we can't do the whole bury your head in the sand malarkey here. We've got to be realistic and look at every option. So, can Trent sign a new deal? Yes. Would we be happy about that? Yes. So we've all agreed on that in 2 seconds. But we also have to agree the other thing's a possibility whilst the uncertainty surrounds us. Right, anyway. More people, more comments, more news. Levi Colwill. So, loads of talk now about Colwill possibly being on the market. And I think maybe we're looking to see if Bayern Munich get any joy out of Chelsea. Because it looks like Bayern Munich's shortlist is Jonathan Tah and then Levi Colwill. So they want Jonathan Tah, but Leverkusen want Tah to sign a new deal. So if they can't get Tah, it looks like they're going to look at Colwill. Now, if they get any encouragement from Chelsea for Levi Colwill, we've got to be in there shortly after, surely. He is homegrown. He is a Premier League tested centre-back. He is young. He is pretty much everything FSG look for in their ideal type of signing, with potential to become even better. So I'd have to say, if Munich are getting any joy, I hope we're in there in that conversation. How can Madrid afford all these players? I've no idea. Now, their business has been a little bit... it's been clinical, is probably the word I'd use. Like, if you can get 70 million quid out of Manchester United for Casemiro, and then put 15 million on top of that and buy Jude Bellingham, that's just good business. So sometimes, belatedly, we have to agree that sometimes they just do good business. Just came in, but would I swap Trent for Rodrigo? No. I don't think I would. I'd like Rodrigo, but I don't think I'd sacrifice Trent for him. Yeah, that's my honest answer here. Only thing is with Trent, he has to take to Madrid like Bellingham and not like Bale was at Madrid, or he'll have to step up or they'll crucify him. Yeah, agreed. But again, we're talking about people who've already proven they believe in themselves, you know. Again, you don't get to this point in your career without having that drive, ambition and belief in your own ability. But support is also a really important factor. And like you've said, they're not shy. The Madristas aren't shy to let you know if you're not cutting mustard. You know, they'll be booing you. They booed Ronaldo. So, yeah, they're the ones who, when Eden Hazard was being unveiled, was a €100 million signing, had signs up saying we want Mbappe. So, yeah, you're right. They won't be shy about letting Trent know, or anybody know, if they don't think they're pulling their weight. What is my thoughts on Musiala? Said Liverpool fan. Probably the same as yours. Incredible. Top 3 list of signings. The closest thing to Bellingham. Yeah, probably the same. I'm imagining the same as yours. He's incredible. Craig, I think that we will not see or hear anything until after the window opens. Maybe, but we're talking 3 days at that point. You know, today's the 11th. The window opens on the 14th. You know, we're not that far away. What's this one? The Echo have titled this piece, Gordon Hint. Anthony Gordon has made a habit of playing compliments to Liverpool in recent months, they say. The Newcastle United winger has since been linked to the move to Anfield, though his club are said to be seeking an offer close to 100 million for his services. He went on to say Steven Gerrard was his boyhood hero, and they're kind of just teasing, is there anything to this? I'm imagining the answer is no. Same with Bruno Guimaraes. I've seen The Echo talk about Bruno Guimaraes so many goddamn times in Liverpool, but City are the ones most likely to sign him. So, and also, if Liverpool pay £100 million for Anthony Gordon, no, just no. To be honest, if I was Trent, I would go. We still have Bradley, said John Power. Yeah, we do still have Bradley, but it's a huge loss. Like, I can't dress it up any which way. Like, I've spelled out every argument I can think of for and against, but it's still a huge loss. Harry, thank you for your super chat, my friend. Trent will be the main man in Alonso's system, only person who can pass like Alonso, which will be attractive to Trent and Liverpool legend. That's worrying. Yep. Goes back to me thinking again, though, why do we let this happen? Even if nothing happens, it's still a headache that could have been avoided. Uncertainty is nobody's friend. So, we've an hour gone in tonight's stream. We've an hour left to go. So, at the halfway point, I've been very good. I haven't mentioned anything about the live shows. So, this is look at this as the sponsorship part of the show. We are down, and I managed to release a few more tickets, by the way, because I released some of the friends and family tickets we had held back. So, there's about 18 tickets left for the Liverpool show, maybe less. So, if you want to come and see us at the Hot Water Comedy Club on August 4th, for our last ever stage event, you can do so by using the link at the top of the chat or in the description of the stream. Same for Cardiff. That's going to be our second last ever live show. All the tickets are £15. It's an all ages event, and they're the last two we're doing. So hopefully you guys can come along, and we're going to do a meet and greet afterwards with everybody as well at both events, where we'll be there for photos and conversations, and you'll get to meet the whole team. Me, Connor, Ben. Yeah, I hope you guys come along. It's going to be great fun, and I've already started to put the show together and order a few little special bits and pieces, so hope to see you there. Why last ever live show? Simple reason, mate. I'm a pussy. They scare me, and it's not. I've done a few now, and then it's not getting any less scary for me. So I don't want to put myself through the fear of it all again. It takes a lot for me to get on that stage, so that's why. Conor Bradley scored 2 goals for his country. Yeah, brilliant for Conor, and hopefully he can keep that up. And look, it is against low opposition, but still, it's 2 goals for his country is still 2 goals. It tells us that he knows where the goal is. Now, a little bit on Yaros, because I wanted to just talk a little bit more about Liverpool's potential number 2 goalkeeper should Queefing Kelleher move on. So not a lot of us know too much about Yaros. Some of you probably more than others. I'm still learning bit by bit. So he joined Liverpool age 15 for a rather significant fee for a 15-year-old in 2017 from Slavia Prague. He came in for £300,000. He's appeared for the first team, I think, twice. Had loan spells and played away against Tranmere Rovers. He played away against Karlsruhe. And then he went on loan. He went on loan to St Patrick's Athletic over here in Ireland, where he did very well, won the FAI Cup. Then he went over to Sturm Graz, where they've won a double. They've won the league and the cup, and they've stopped Salzburg's dominance over there. He's made 21 appearances for them last year, and for me, I'm ready for him to step up. That I believe in Yaros. So if Queefing Kelleher does depart, my suggestion, for what it's worth, would be to promote Yaros. I think he's done the hard yards, served his time, and is ready to go. Why did you write Sturm Graz? That's what I said. Yeah, he went to Sturm Graz, won a double, and to me, I think he's ready. And I'm also a firm believer in this, not just stockpiling keepers. If you're going to have a destination like we do have for goalkeepers, where you've got Alisson, Kelleher, Taffarel, all this great training, you've got to have pathway through. We've shown with Kelleher that pathway is there. So now I hope we do the same with Yaros. We got to laugh Thomas Frank odds on the Man United job. The Man United job is mental. Like, what must Erik ten Hag be thinking? Every day, he thinks to himself, I've been here 2 years, I've won 2 trophies. Yes, we had a terrible league campaign, and I don't think he's good enough for the job. But imagine knowing every day that your boss is out there chatting with other coaches, and that most likely, if you get kept on, it's only because nobody else would take the role. Because let's be honest about it, that's what it looks like. I thought Jim Ratcliffe was supposed to come into United and bestow wisdom upon the club. He's turning them into even more of a laughing stock, in my humble opinion so far. He's dithering about managerial appointments. He's shiting on about a director of football that he hasn't managed to get through the doors yet because they haven't agreed a compensation package with Newcastle. And they're going backwards. It's weird. But I'm loving every goddamn minute of it, but it's weird. So, Diogo Jota, he's been speaking about, one particular player here for a minute, and that's João Neves. He's been speaking about how he's ready to go far in his career and make the step up. Now, I don't think, maybe he is hinting that Liverpool should look at him. I don't know what to make from it, but this is what he had to say recently while speaking about him. João Neves has the quality and the mindset to go really far. And of course, Liverpool, Manchester United and many other clubs have been linked with him. It's probably going to cost about 100 million quid. But he's certainly well thought of in that Portuguese dressing room by his teammates. Ben said Ten Hag should walk if they decide to keep him just before the season starts. Yeah, but, 9 or 11 million quid, Ben, are you going to walk away from that? Don't think Ratcliffe understands about the football business, said Scampy. I don't know, but I'm so glad it's him and not the guy from Qatar who would have had endless money to throw at them. Ratcliffe just looks like Mike Ashley on steroids to me. And by that I mean he's coming in cutting costs left, right and centre. Don't want to work here, don't want to work from home, want to come back into the office or not? Well, fuck you, having a redundancy package. You're not allowed to eat in the canteen. We're going to cut costs. FA Cup final. Yay, we all get to go. No, you don't. Because we're cutting costs. That doesn't scream genius. It just screams, I want more money. Utah says, I think if Slot can unlock Núñez and Diaz, they have the same issue. If Slot can figure it out and work on those problems, those two will be monsters. Yes, I agree. So we've talked many times about if Salah either leaves or isn't as good as he is, what can we do? Sorry, let me get that mic back. What can we do to replace the numbers? It's one of the biggest conversations we have on the channel every day. What can we do to replace Mo's numbers? Well, the simple answer is Darwin can add 5 to 10 more and Diaz can absolutely add 5 to 10 more. And then you're a long way to replacing those numbers. And I believe, I'm going to say this now, and if I'm wrong on it, I'll hold my hands up as always, but I'm going to say Darwin Núñez is going to score over 30 goals next season in all competitions. So yeah, there you go. That's my bold prediction. He's scoring over 30 goals in all competitions next year. That's what I'm going to say right now. Diaz, I don't have that same belief that he's going to have a great season, but I feel like the backlash from Darwin is going to be enjoyable. In a good way. When I say backlash, I mean towards the doubters. So yeah, look, I'm either going to look like a very clever boy or like a fool, but I'm going out on a limb and I'm saying I believe Darwin's going to do 30 plus this season. What do we think? Actually, can we get a poll on that, Ben? Let me end this one. So, do you think there's a chance Trent will leave Liverpool this summer? This is close. We've had 1,200 votes. 57% say no, but there are 43% of people who think that there is a chance that Trent could well leave this summer. So, Ben, will Darwin score 30 goals in all comps? Yes or no? I'd love to know how people are thinking and feeling about this one. I mean, Harry's been very specific. Harry's gone 32 goals and 11 assists. If that's right, mate, I'm going to ask you for the lotto numbers. without any service from Trent or Mo? Well, no, we have to work off the basis that they're both still at the club, mate, because as we speak right now, going into next season, I'm certainly assuming Trent and Mo are going to be here. What else we got? If we get Valverde as part of any Trent deal, will help Darwin leaps and bounds. I mean, I'd love Valverde, and I know Jurgen Klopp was a big fan of Fede Valverde, but I don't think Madrid are stupid enough to move on Valverde. He's a really good... I mean, I'd have him in a heartbeat at Liverpool. He's incredible, but I can't see Madrid losing him. He's too versatile. By the way, the summer weather is crap here, said Alex. I don't know where you are, mate, but right now here where I am, it's not great. It's been a bit of a weird day. So again, yes, what are we up to in likes? 370 likes. Do take a second, hit that like button. Let's get us over 500. And again, if you haven't subscribed, folks, please do. I've set myself a target. I go on holidays in October, and I'm hoping that we can push the channel towards 300,000 before we go on holiday. So I need every single one of you that can help us out to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so. Polls up, so let's have a look, see what you're thinking. Will Darwin score 30 goals in all competitions? So Ben, I hate when you do this. Can we just have a stray poll? I'm cancelling that poll. 2 answers, Ben, yes or no? No, yes, and another version of yes, because it doesn't give a true reflection. Will Darwin score 30 goals in all competitions? Yes or no? No in the middles. No, he'll score more. Just that. Will he score 30 plus goals in all competitions, please? Yes or no? Because that poll skewed. It doesn't give us an honest reflection. So sorry to everyone that's voted, but I'm very anal about these type of things. If Nunes first season and Rashford's purple patch, I said Nunes would have a better next season and got laughed at. Nunes had a better season. Yeah, when I look back at his numbers, what was it, 18 and 10 or 18 and 11? You know, they're not ridiculously bad numbers. I think what gets a lot of us about Darwin is just the chances he's missed. So you think 18 and 11, and you could have 30 and 18 or 30 and 20. Like he could have been incredible, like numbers wise. You know, a lot of people will argue that he's done everything but score, and there's some valid arguments there, but I'm just not ready to give up on him yet. You know, if you look back at his history at the clubs he was at, he started off okay and then exploded on with Benfica and had a great season, and that's basically the season we signed him off. 18 and 13 it was. There you go. So yeah, I think there's certainly a lot of scope for improvement there. Mahmood, thank you, said we shouldn't worry too much about what happened after Coutinho forced the move, and we have Bradley. Defensive fullbacks give stability. Look at Arsenal and Manchester City. Yeah, we look, right back, I'm more than happy. You know, I still feel we need to bring in somebody else for cover, because if you lost Trent, then it's basically what, Gomez or Bradley. I think we'd still be a little bit short there, so you know, maybe another Geertruida type signing, somebody who can play across the back line. Darwin needs to calm himself down in front of goal, said Mark Ames. Saunders said Bradley scored a brace today. I know, it's great, isn't it? Genuinely delighted. Like, I hope he manages to translate that into some Liverpool goals as well. Ace and Tino, thank you for your super chat. Appreciate you. Said, do you think that there is a chance that we need to get rid of at least one of Salah, VVD or Trent for this to truly be an RNA slot team? I mean, I'm going to answer that question really quickly for you. And honestly, and again, yes, sell Salah. That's the sensible play here for me. And I'm not going to back down off this stance that the right move is to sell Salah. I'm aware it's going to initially be a daunting thing and it's going to leave a big void. But at some point, we have to look to the post-Salah era. You know, we can't have Salah at the club like Ronaldo is, playing 39 years of age and still going, but he's our boy. Let's be honest. 1 year to go. Now is the time. You know, if you let him go on a free, I mean, I don't want to hear from the club about being clever about money again if you leave him go on a free in a year's time. Because as I've said to you at the start of the stream, we had 12 players leave the club and only 4 of them have gone for a transfer fee. That's when you've got 100 million potentially sitting there. He's not worth 100 million to me for one season. Just isn't. What would happen if we lost all 3? I mean, outrage, first and foremost. I can't even contemplate that, mate, honestly, because I can't believe... Nah, I just couldn't. Can you imagine? There'd be... anarchy. Who do you think are the underdogs in the Euros? Netherlands. I think Netherlands might surprise a few. Our only world-class player would be Alisson. McAllister? I mean, I'm going to stand up for Alexis here. I know we all have subjective stances on world-class, but I'm going to sit back a bit. Sorry, because I have a back support today, so I'm going to sit back a bit. No, I would say Alexis is world-class for me. Netherlands are an exceptional team. They are, but they're not being spoken about by many as potential winners. And I include myself in that. Like, I've spoken about, you know, France and England for me as the 2 potentials. You never rule out Germany, and they're at home as well. So, do we think Uruguay could win the Copa America? So we had this discussion in our Discord group, and I am absolutely 100% yes, Uruguay can win the Copa America. Absolutely. They are a very, very good team, a very efficient team, a very well-drilled team. And it'll take a lot to stop Argentina, but I think Uruguay can do very, very, very well in the Copa America. Hungary will shock, said Harry. They've got some good players in that Hungarian team, excuse me. Little bit of news on Benjamin Sesko, actually, while we're talking about European players. It looks like he's going to stay at Leipzig for another season, based off reports today. So, never really Liverpool have been in the mix for him. It's always been Arsenal's name who's been most mentioned. But the few reports I've read today suggest that he's going to stay one more year with Leipzig before he moves on elsewhere. So, I don't know what that means for Arsenal if they're looking for another striker, but... I got this feeling that Trent has signed a new contract, but they're not going to reveal it yet. I'd love that to be the case. And look, there was some talk the other day that there was a contract signed till 2029. You know, it was doing the rounds on social media, but I've not seen it backed up by anybody credible. But I'd love that. Be great. I mean, imagine you woke up tomorrow and heard 2 or 3 contracts done. That'd be great. Is there any part of you guys, really, be honest with me, is there any part of you guys at the minute who are going, what are the club doing? Like, what are we doing? Are we in holiday mode? Are we frantically playing catch-up? Are we closer to deals than we believe? But, you know, it's a strange week or two, this. Grammar Nazi says we cannot let Salah leave for free. They rejected 150 million last season. It's just silly. So, I'm always trying to be honest when I assess these things. I have to say I was somebody last year who said keep him and don't take the money. And I stand over that. Yeah, I was definitely in the keep him and don't take the money last summer. But my mind was always that he was getting sold this summer. So, I feel like, especially after it became clear that it was going to be Jurgen's last year, you know, we needed to do everything we can to make sure that we tried to win as much as we can. Sorry, I need to move this chair forward. It's bugging me. There we go. So, yeah, I was of the mindset that we need to try and win everything. And to do that, we need to be as strong as possible. But now, it just feels like the right time to me. And I think most importantly here, what I'd say is the club's position has weakened. Because, like, same with Trent and Virgil, we're relying on the players not to want to leave now. Or not to run down their contracts. Because no matter how they try to spin this, there's no way I'm going to believe that John W. Henry, Tom Werner, Michael Edwards, or anybody else wants to not get a transfer fee for Salah for one more year. Like, there's not many people in the world that are worth 100 million quid for one season. And it's going to come down to one thing in my mind. Who gets the 100 million quid? Does Salah get the 100 million quid? Or does Liverpool get the 100 million quid? Because unless there's a huge change and we see a contract extension which sorts all of this out for all of us, somebody's getting 100 mil. I want it to be Liverpool because I'm a Liverpool fan. So if you're somebody who thinks don't let Mo go, I can respect that. But can you respect us losing out on 100 million quid so he can get it in a year's time? Because I can't. We would not have won the Champions League in 2018 without Edwards. It's a big jump to say that, to be fair. I would like to think there were a lot more people involved in it than just Edwards, like, but Craig, there is something happening at the club. New owners, I ask? No. I don't think so. Because FSG have got into expansion mode. You know, look at the hires that they've made. They've brought in Edwards to buy another club and grow the football side of FSG's operations. They've brought in Pedro Marquez to, again, help oversee, along with Julian Ward. So no, I don't think they're in selling mode. Absolutely not. I think that they are in expansion mode. Craig, Salah might be salty. We rejected 150 mil. So remember, Mr. Turkey Al Sheikh, who is somebody extremely powerful in Saudi Arabian sport, speaking on the on a podcast with Ariel Halwani, said that he believed Mohamed Salah had agreed and was ready to go to Saudi last year, and that Liverpool changed their mind at the last minute. And I'm not asking you to take my word for that, but I absolutely think he speaks with some credibility on the situation of Saudi sport, because he has driven some of the biggest boxing events and incredible growth in that sport lately. And if he says that he believes Salah was willing to go last year and Liverpool put the kibosh on it, you know, I've not seen it denied. I've not seen Rami Abbas come out and go, nah, that's bullshit. So, you know, I think maybe he was. But I still think Liverpool's stance of not selling him was the right stance. But now where we're at, it worries me. So I'm a little bit concerned that maybe I'm alienating people here, because I keep looking at the sub count and it keeps going down. And I'm not sure how or why I've offended people today. If I have, I think I've been trying to be as fair as I can, even in things I've strong beliefs on. But I guess if you're unsubscribing, I'm sorry for whatever's made you unsubscribe, but I'm confused by it all. But look, if you want to unsubscribe and you don't think we're for you, that's fine. I get it, but I don't know. It's weird. I'm looking up there and it's very disorienting to go, what am I doing? Because I'm trying to be interactive and answer your questions and be honest, but I'm not going to come on and lie to people and go, everything's great. The football club's an amazing place and we're going to win everything. I'm concerned. I'm concerned because there's some very glaring issues that I need to speak about. Right, what else have we got? I mean, they look still calm down. I mean, I probably shouldn't be saying it because I'm drawing attention to it, but it is what it is, you know. Unsubscribe away. I mean, it'd be worth more to me to not make content at this point and put up pre-recorded videos, but there you go. Mad. Do you know what? I wish I could find a button to block everybody that does unsubscribe from ever coming back. I think I'd love that as an option. You can do it on Twitter. Wouldn't it be great if you could do it elsewhere? But there you go. I'm still going off topic here, but did Amorim win the Portuguese league? Yes, he did. And the cup, I believe. I think he won the double. Although, I can't remember the cup final, to be honest. But he did win the league, yes. Craig, I think it's the title. I can't find much about the Trent thing and people that want to hear it. Well, as I've said before, the title's from an Anfield Index article. You know? And again, it shocked me to see it. But the article has a big headline with 2 big red exclamation points that says, Trent Alexander-Arnold will sign for Real Madrid. And then it goes underneath and it says, opinion. And then it's got quotation marks and says, Trent sees his future with the Spanish Giants. So, if you're upset about the title, I didn't write the article. But it scared the shit out of me when I seen it. Now, it is an opinion piece. So we always have to take that with a pinch of salt. But it's an opinion piece looking for a reaction. A particular response. Which, you know, he doesn't really stand over in the article too much. Porto won the cup. Sorry, there you go. Porto won the cup, so it wasn't Amorim. What else was there? We've done the stuff on Andre and Fluminense. ARAUJO. Again, that one's interesting me. Will Darwin score 30 plus goals in all competitions? Yes, 65%. No, 35%. David Smith said, we are losing subs. I just don't understand why. I don't know what to say to you, mate. I can't help it. You know, if we're losing subs, we're losing subs. But I don't know what to say. Like, does it annoy me? Of course, because you don't understand why. And I know the more I talk about it, the worse it gets. Like, I'm not an idiot. But at the same time, I don't know. It's unfortunate because I want people to be happy and enjoy the content and interact with us. But I don't know. I can't change things. If people unsubscribe, they unsubscribe. Same way I can't make people subscribe to the channel. But it is what it is. I'm going to be here every night having my say and having fun. But I don't know what to say. Craig, do you think Kelleher will leave? Yes, I do. But I'm very understanding of it because this is where I guess I'm a little bit of a hypocrite. I talk about Adrian and I go, off you pop. But he wants to play football. So if he wants to go to Real Betis and play football, I kind of understand that as well. But Kelleher, it must be really difficult. You know, if I'm looking at this and I'm Queeveen and I'm looking ahead of me and I'm thinking, I had a really good season. I played about half the games. It was another cup final. It must be hard to square off that you're never going to get past Alisson. You know? Because he's so unlucky, Queeveen. He's behind the best goalkeeper in the world. And at any other club, at any other era, he probably has a good shout to becoming Liverpool's number 1. But he knows he's looking at a keeper who probably has, you know, keepers go on to the late 30s. So Alisson probably has 5 years minimum left at the top level. And Queeveen is 25. So I've a lot of sympathy for his situation. Yes, if Queeveen decides to leave, I hope it's a deal that works for everybody. I hope the club get the number they want. I hope Queeveen gets the move that works for him. And I've no doubt he'll be a success because he's a great goalkeeper. Yeah, it's one of those rare occasions in football where I think there's an outcome that can work for everybody. Selfishly, geez, of course I want to keep him at the club, but I can understand it. Same when Lallana left at the time he did. He kind of knew his minutes were up at Liverpool to a certain extent, and he wanted to extend his career. And I get it. Adrian, I just don't like, quite frankly. So when I see him maybe turning down a contract offer, this is the hypocritical part of me, because I will say the dude wants to go play football, but also I don't like seeing him turning down Liverpool. It just doesn't sit well with me. How much BS happens on non-international breaks? It's weird because every international break, it's like players become more emboldened when they're away, or certainly their agents at times do. And I always say this to you guys, it never surprises me that these type of stories come out when players are away on international duty. Craig, there has been some talk about Alisson going too. Is this correct? Thankfully, from all the research or people I've spoken to, there is no belief inside Liverpool that Alisson's going anywhere. Everybody at Liverpool believes Alisson's staying put and is happy and is settled. And that's great, because when I started hearing the initial stuff about Saudi, I was thinking, one, he's way too good to be going to the Saudi Pro League now. Two, he's part of the family at Liverpool at the minute, So yeah, I'm glad that's the case, because how are you going to replace him? Do you think Edwards is involved on player deals or busy looking at clubs? I would imagine he's in conversation with Hughes, maybe still holding Hughes' hand a little bit because Hughes is newish to the role. But I would say he's involved, yeah. He's somebody that it's very hard to find anything about Michael Edwards. He's not somebody that courts the limelight or does interviews. He kind of just blends in and operates in his business. Like, you might remember I read out a story that said that before we signed Jurgen Klopp as manager, that Michael Edwards was basically, I don't want to say stalking him because that sounds horrible, but was like at his hotel kind of just keeping an eye and looking and trying to gauge and learn as much as they can. I love Michael Edwards. I think Michael Edwards, in my mind, he's kind of like a bit of a superhero. Next year, would you play Trent DM and start Bradley at right back? Not DM in the sense that we think of a DM. I'd play him as part of a double pivot. On his own, no way. Don't see Trent as a number 6, but in a double pivot, absolutely. So yeah, look, hand on heart, what do I think's going to happen with Trent? Cutting through all the crap. I think he stays. Because I think when it comes down to it, it's one thing hypothesizing something, weighing it up in your mind, but to actually take the step of signing the paperwork and saying goodbye to your childhood club, I don't think he'll do it. Not yet. It'll be interesting to see if and when he does sign an extension, how long it's for. Because if it's for 4 or 5 years, that's brilliant. But if it's for 2 or 3 years, that will concern me a little bit. Because if it was for 2 or 3 years, it makes it sound like we're protecting the value of the player. Jay said, I've heard Trent's been stalling on a new contract. Honestly, mate, I don't know. But we've spoken about Diaz and his situation, and we've at least heard from Diaz that he loves the club and was happy to be here. I hope we hear something from Trent soon with the England camp, but every day I'm opening up and seeing pictures of him in Bellingham, every day I'm getting a little bit more concerned. Why don't I like Adrian San Miguel? Apart from the fact that he's shit. I mean, apart from that big, very glaring thing, I don't know. Sometimes people just wind you up, or, you can't take to them. And he's just been one person that I've never been able to take to. It's like Mighty Red. I have very strong feelings about that mascot. And I can't, for the life of me, fathom why. Well, it's because I think Mighty Red's a pussy. That's why. I don't want my mascot to be this airy fairy, hi guys, I'm here, let's all hug. I want mine to be the Philly Fanatic. You know, I want mine to be going around shaking its ass and having a bit of personality. So yeah, the weirdest things provoke some emotion in me, and I never would have thought a mascot would wind me up, but honest to God, I don't like that Mighty Red lad. I don't like him at all. You know, he's too boring. Get Mighty Red out there, you know, RKO and Gunnosaurus, and I'm on board. Sierra said Adrian cost us the Champions League in 2020. Well, there's a couple of reasons, you know. There was that mistake against Atletico Madrid. We're the only club to ever give him a contract extension. Let that sit for a minute. We're the only club in his career who've given him a contract extension as a professional. And we're looking to do it twice. But, I don't know. Gritty out there rating Philly cheesecakes. Exactly. That's what. Give me a bit of that. Like, I want a mascot with a bit of attitude. Hated him from the second Morata put the winner past them, said Jasper. I don't know what the fuck this is about. Reality is a bitch. I don't know what you're on about, mate. What's the reality that you're living through? Because I don't know what you're going on about here. What is it? Trent and Mac is starting DM in a double pivot. I mean, that's a reality I can absolutely cope with. But I think it's the wrong reality. I think Trent and Endo, Trent and Ederson, Trent and Luis from Barca, Trent and AN other in a double pivot, yes. But Maka needs to be a number 10, in my humblest of opinions. Thoughts on Fabio Carvalho on his future role with the club? So the good news for Carvalho is that Arne Slot seems to like him. Tried to bring him to Feyenoord and will certainly be looked at. After that, I think it's going to be up to him. You know, if he's ready to succeed, I think he'll get the chance to do it. But I'm not sure what the future holds for him. It's been a very strange signing and period since he signed. So, quickly, couple of things. What I'm going to do now, as I always do at about 10:05, is run through the news again for people who are late coming in or people who missed a bit of the stream. So I'm going to run through all the news again, and then we're going to finish up with 15 minutes of whatever it is you guys would like to ask, talk about, or discuss. Can you poll on Trent's value if we sell him now? We did that the other day, and people voted for 100 million plus, and I said that it was crazy. Somewhere 75 million seems more reasonable, but we did do one the other day, Carl, and 100 million plus was the winning poll. So, I'm going to fly, and thank you for your super chat, by the way, bro. I'm going to fly through the news, but before I do, a couple of things. We're only 20 likes off 500, so if you haven't hit the like button, please do. Also, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, please do. And don't forget, we're less than 18 tickets for the Liverpool show, and I'd love to see you guys at Cardiff as well. And as we've said before, if anybody can come to the shows for financial reasons or anything, email me, contact@AnfieldAgenda.com, and we'll sort you out. Because people have been kind enough to donate money, and we've put aside a pool of the money to make sure that we've given out and been able to buy tickets for people to come to the shows. So because of your generosity, we have a father and son flying in from Poland for the Liverpool show that you've paid for. We've given 20 tickets to people to come to the shows that you've paid for. So I want to say, firstly, you're amazing. Thank you. I love you all dearly for that generosity and kindness of spirit. I expect nothing less because that's the way our community rolls, and you're amazing. But you know, you always give me credit and praise me. It's important to me that you know you're amazing. So thank you for that. You're making some people very happy. And I can never go in and reveal names and all this stuff, but to be able to do that, you guys are bringing a father and son from Poland to Liverpool just so we can be part of the community and share an experience together. That's incredible. So thank you for that. Right, let's go through the news. So, first thing I spoke about today was England striker Ollie Watkins has revealed that some of his great form of Villa came after employing a therapist that he speaks to before and after games. And the email address, by the way, if anybody ever does want to reach out about that, it's contact@AnfieldAgenda.com. Contact@AnfieldAgenda.com. And as always, these things will be kept private and confidential because dignity is a minimum for people in life. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. I was at a point in my life where I got helped out financially. I got bailed out and I got a hand up. And I've always said I'll repay that in the future if I get a chance. So you'll never have to worry about feeling belittled. Reach out. That's what we're here for. Right. Liverpool have put contract talks with Virgil van Dijk on hold until the end of 2020 is one report that came out. Now, Anfield Edition have given this a silver rating or a number 2 rating. On the number 2, ironically enough, is kind of what I'd say about it as well. But I want to know, do you think that there is any truth to that Liverpool have put off contract talks with Virgil van Dijk? I don't see why we would. The only argument I can make for it is, you know, maybe Virgil's so settled and the club are so confident about it and it's so absolutely going to happen that maybe Virgil said, look, there's other priorities to the club you need to do now. I'm grand, I'll be signing, we'll figure it out. The next one came from David Lynch, who was speaking with Anfield Index, and said, I've no doubt that Ederson is somebody that Liverpool have been watching, but it seems to be one that's getting shot down at the moment and doesn't seem to have much momentum behind it. They're still cool that he isn't even on the short list at the moment. Now, my point here was, there's a lot of journalists at the minute who are able to tell us about shortlists, who's on them, who we don't want. But if you really have all that information to hand, how about letting us know who we do want? Or at least putting your neck on the line and saying, I believe there's a very good chance that X and Y happens. Because I don't like our fan base just constantly receiving negatives. You know, oh, we're looking at somebody, but he's not serious interest. You know, if you know who we aren't interested in, who are we interested in? Please do share. Next one is a Liverpool job, a new job that is apparently being described as a key role in Arne Slot's backroom staff. So Will Spearman, the club's head of research, has described the new role as a varied role, and it's a performance insights lead within their research team. I don't know. So Liverpool are again looking to expand that side of stuff, which I'm cool about. If data or any of these type of things can help us get a 1 or 2% edge, or even help us in the transfer market, absolutely. Top level football, let's get into it. The transfer window, we're going to confirm as well, will shut on August the 30th at 11 PM UK time. That was a conscious decision, this piece said, from the Premier League to bring the transfer window in line with major leagues in Europe, meaning it will close at the same time for England, Germany, Spain, Italy and France. And the upside of that, of course, is that you don't have to worry about Real Madrid or somebody coming in last minute and taking a player from you and you not being able to do anything about it. So I think this is good. Also, the Prague coach that was on the end of an 11-2 whooping by Liverpool over 2 legs is now the manager of Feyenoord and is going to take over from Arne Slot. It is mad sometimes how these things happen, isn't it? Then we spoke about the opinion piece, and I use that term loosely because it's a weird thing, from Anfield Index, who again I want to point out I have nothing but respect for. I started my own content career there. But this headline of double red exclamation points, Trent Alexander-Arnold will sign for Real Madrid. There's only one reason you post that, and that's for the response. Now underneath it does say opinion, Trent sees his future with the Spanish Giants. But does he? Like, to make these bold statements, you've got to have something, I think, to back it up with. Granted, if it's an opinion, but there has to be some realm of reason for it. So I'm a bit confused by the whole piece, the point of it. I read the article. I still can't kind of get to grips with it or what the point of it is. But again, it is there. It is a free article. So if you want to have a read of it yourself. Then Salah's contract. And we were talking about this. And who's this that was speaking? Who's this? 1 second. So Paul Robinson, former goalkeeper, has said about Mohamed Salah's situation, what has he got? 12 months left on his contract. So from a business point of view, now is the time to let him go. You're never going to get the 100 million for him halfway through the season. If you're looking at 100 million from now, and if you think that you can recruit and build a squad with that money, then use that money to get his replacement. And I agree. Like I've always said, I do think now is the right time to make that difficult decision. Then we spoke about Levi Colwill and the fact that Bayern Munich have him and Jonathan Tah at the top of their list of defensive targets. And basically my point here is, if Bayern receive any encouragement from Levi Colwill and the Chelsea situation, then we should be right there as well. Colwill is homegrown, Premier League tested, and would be a great, astute piece of business for us. So if Bayern get any encouragement, I hope we're right behind them, and we're trying to figure it out. Because remember, last summer we were looking at him as well. He signed a new deal at Chelsea, believed that he was going to stay on there, develop and become a mainstay of that Chelsea team. But again, as I said, if there's an opportunity, let's dive on it. A bit of an update on Andre. So again, we're going back to 2023 here, but we're not really. It's a current story. Fluminense midfielder Andre Trinidad could be on his way to the Premier League this summer, but not to Liverpool. The Reds were strongly linked with a move for the Brazilian last year, though he remained with his current employers after winning the Copa Libertadores. Sky Sports have stated that Fulham are looking at Andre should they need to replace João Palhinha, who is attracting the interest of Bayern Munich. And I think Bayern Munich will get Palhinha this summer. So Andre Trinidad, we might get a look at him in the Premier League, but not with us. A good bit of news coming out from Lucho, speaking about Liverpool and his future after beating America 5-1 with Uruguay. Sorry, American viewers, don't mean to rub that salt in. He said, "I'm very happy here at Liverpool. It's a great team and club. I always wanted to play there, so I'm very happy and calm. I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm thinking about the Colombian national team. That is where we are." So I'll take that. That'll do. And the last thing, and probably the biggest of the whole day, was reports in Spain suggesting that Barcelona are under so much financial pressure that one of the victims of the transfer market could be Uruguayan centre-back Ronald Araujo. The piece goes on to say that he could be available for in and around €80 million, which is about £67 million, and has previously been tipped with a move to Liverpool. Do you think Liverpool should make a move and try and sign him? And the very last tippity thing is, again, just a little piece on Yaros to say, I think it's time for him to step up to become number 2 if Kelleher leaves. He's been at the club since 2017. We signed him for 300 grand. He's had some successful loan spells. And for me, I feel confident that now is the time to step up. So David Ornstein has just put out some major breaking news that said Erik ten Hag to stay on as Manchester United manager. After talks today, the Dutchman will remain at Old Trafford and hold negotiations over a contract extension. That's going to be fun. I wonder how long into next season before he gets fired. Or are they waiting to see if Gareth Southgate gives them any encouragement after the Euros? Because remember, Southgate's already said if he doesn't win the Euros with England, he probably moves on. So what I hear there is Manchester United have figured out that nobody wants the job, or nobody's willing to work under the parameters that Jim Radcliffe is banging on about. So we're going to stick with the manager that we've already had and disrespected for the last month by openly courting and talking with multiple other managers. Brilliant. If I was a United fan, I'd be so confident and optimistic about this, said nobody. So there we are. That is the latest Liverpool news with a little bit of United twist thrown in at a breaking story at the end. Imagine United fans now crying. Well, we have our very own one. See there in the chat, the comment? That's from a United fan. Benjamin. Great news that, Ben. Many more 4-0 drubbings, 7-0 drubbings to the likes of Crystal Palace and all to come. You must be really excited about the prospects for next season. God, that's I don't know about you, but that's chirped me up. What advice would you give to a 20-year-old boy? Well, firstly, if you're 20, you're not a boy. You're a young man. What would I say? Travel, experience life, take chances, put yourself out there, accept love, show love, And always chase your dreams. You get one life. And we all have regrets. But I'm telling you now, everybody you speak to at my age or older will have things they would have liked to have done differently. So live your dreams, chase it, be the best version of you. And most importantly, don't be afraid to fail. Nothing wrong with failing. All failing means is you tried. And get up and try again. And again. And again. And life can be difficult. But don't write yourself off. Believe in yourself and chase your dreams. That's the only real advice I'd give you, is treat people nicely along the way, because you never know what happens. Southgate will be available after the Euros. Looks like he'd be a good fit for the United job, said John Munro. Thank you for the advice. Mate, it's a pleasure. I mean, I'm not sure how much help any advice is, but yeah, I lost my dad around your age, and it had a profound impact on my emergence as a man, because instead of going out and finding out who I am as a person, I tried to do what I thought I was supposed to do because of the way my dad lived his life and because of the way he was brought up. And it took me to the age of 38, 39 to kind of just figure out who the hell Craig is and what I like, what I don't like, and what's real and what I'm supposed to be. You know, I'm still learning. Is Trent leaving? The honest answer, Mary, is nobody knows at this point. But I hope not. Now, we had many discussions about Trent on tonight's stream. And mixed. Some people think it's pure profit, maybe move on. Most people, I think we want him to stay. But look, at the minute, with no news, you know, it's confusing. So, we're going to look at this poll. We've had over 1,000 votes. And we asked you, will Darwin score 30 plus goals in all competitions next season? 62% of you are on the hype train with me. Well played. And 38% of you don't believe that he will. So, as I said, it's a bold statement from me, but I do believe we'll see 30 plus goals in all comps from Darwin next season. Craig, love your channel, bro. Thank you, Smokey. It is the best channel on the internet, bar none. Said nobody. No, mate, thank you. Appreciate it. I saw a vid of Trent kissing Jude's hand, not looking good. I mean, I wouldn't read too much into that, to be fair, but they are certainly good mates. Who's my favourite academy player? I'm biased. I want Trent Alexander-Arnold to do well, because obviously he's from Ireland, or Derry, or he's on this island. So yeah, I'm a little bit biased in that regard. What's the best bit of advice you've ever had? Depends on... I'm trying to be philosophical here. There's a couple of things I've been told over the years that have made sense to me. Never take a no from somebody who hasn't got the authority to give you a yes in the first place is one. Be kind to people on your way up in life, because you never know if you might need the same people on the way back down is another one. But yeah, just live your best life and put yourself out there. I lived a lot of my life in fear, and being scared to do things, and I gained nothing from it. But then when I put myself out there and I took a chance and became a bit more vulnerable, my life changed for the better. So yeah, loads of great pieces of advice. Never eat yellow snow, you know, all the usual stuff, man. But so here's my advice, and it's something I've lived by my entire life with my wife, and it's an old one, but it's true. 2 things my parents taught me when I was younger. Never go to bed on a row with anyone. So if you can solve an argument with your partner, your family, before you go to bed, don't go to bed angry. And 2, and this is something I still do to this day, I tell every single person in my house I love them before they go to sleep. I don't know, it's a habit, it's a family thing, but I know that my last words to them each night are, I love you, and I'll see you tomorrow. So yeah, that's all. It's simple things, really. Ten Hag staying, Craig breaking all over socials. I know we talked about it a minute ago. It's great news, isn't it? It's great news for us as neutrals to look and laugh and go, cool. So you couldn't get another manager, basically. So Adrian, according to James Pearce, has been offered a 1-year contract extension by Liverpool, but he's yet to make a decision over his future. So that's the latest from James Pearce about Adrian San Miguel, which you kind of, we know where we're at. So there's something happening with somebody in the chat. Where's Rafa's comment? Sorry, Rafa. I'm going to scroll back up, bro, because I'm trying to just see what's up. Where is your original comment, sir? I must have... Let me click on your name and I'll get your comment, Rafa. Sorry. Let me see. Lost my dad on Friday. He'd been in America visiting us 5 days before. Oh, dude. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, my man. That's incredibly difficult for your family and for yourself. It's difficult, man. We're here for you. If you need to chat, open up, vent, have at it, bro. But again, most importantly, you're not on your own. We're here every night. If you want to come in, vent, chat, distract yourself, be you, bro. And we're all sending love to you and your family. That's incredibly difficult, my man. Mary, you're from Cavan. Nice. Have I ever been to Cavan? I don't know, Mary. I can't remember if I've ever been to Cavan or not. But there you go. Again, I love to see their chat again, just all saying the same to Rafa, and we're all here for you, bro. Jesus, that's tough, man. Throw yourself at the universe. You're the universe, and the universe is you, said Charlie. There you go. Yeah. My psychologist always said to me, lucky people are the ones that put themselves out there to become lucky. And it always made a bit of sense to me. Life can be tough, but I'm a strong believer. You get what you put into it. Hard work pays off in the end. Sometimes it takes longer than you imagine it would. Oh, I wrote down something. Sorry. I wrote down something that I wanted to say to you last night, and I nearly forgot about it until now. So let me just get it on my phone, because it's something that kind of fits in with what we're talking about now. 1 second. View the note. So I'm going to read this out as I wrote it, but I had a bit of a eureka moment a few days ago. And I've always told myself to make sure that I never get arrogant or cocky or take the platform I have for granted. And I've never allowed myself, and will never allow myself, to become arrogant or take you guys for granted. But I never looked at the opposite side of it. I never said to myself, well, Craig, you're happy to say don't allow any compliments to go to your head. But I know I allow the other stuff to pierce my psyche, the negative stuff. So I kind of had a eureka moment the other day where I said, how can you say to yourself, don't let any compliments go to your head and don't get arrogant, but you don't look at the reverse of it and say, don't let the negative stuff get to you? And it's so stupid, but it felt like a eureka moment in my head where I went, I've always had the awareness of that side of it, but I never put the other side of it together. So, yeah, that was my little weird eureka moment this week. It's like, okay. I know I'm not going to be cocky, but I also know I now need to have a bit thicker skin about some things as well. Ten Hag confirmed to stay. Yep, I know. It's Great decision from Jim Ratcliffe. Thank God they took all those months and all that time. Strange how the brain works. Yeah, it is. Because I never joined those dots, Evie. You know, I never... Like, for instance, one of the things I do with my psychologist is he makes me sit in a chair and berate myself. So I'll sit in the chair and then I'll have another chair and I'll sit in this chair and I'll berate me. So I'll say all the things that go through my head negative about myself that I feel. And then he says to me, would you say that to anybody else? And I said, of course not. And then he said, what the fuck are you saying it to yourself then? Which is fair. I wouldn't dare talk to anybody else the way I belittle myself internally. So, yeah, there you go. Anyway, I love you guys dearly. Thank you for another great stream. Appreciate you all being in. And again, I hope to see you at the Liverpool or Cardiff shows coming up in August. You can get your tickets with the link at the top of the chat. It's going to be a celebration of our community, and I look forward to catching up with you guys. So do drop a like if you haven't done so. Love you to hit that subscribe button as well. But I will see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place, and we'll do it all again. Cheers.